So good morning. So this is teacher Marvin and I will be your science teacher for this morning. And also welcome and another fun learning session with me this morning. And before we will be going on with our discussion today, I just want to remind you with our class rules. Okay, the top five class rules we have. We have to be reminded of this as always. And also for today's lesson and for today's discussion, we will talk about the male reproductive system. Okay. And also, before we'll go on with our discussion today, I just want to introduce you with our main goal or our main objective for this lesson. So at the end of our 1 hour period lesson, students, you're expected to identify the major structures of the male reproductive system, describe the function of each structure of the male reproductive system, and trace the path that sperm follow in living the body. Okay, so these are the three objectives that we have here. It needs to be observed in our discussion today. Okay, and let's go ahead with our main topic, and we will talk about first the male reproductive structure. Now, the rules of male in reproduction are to produce sperm cells and to deliver the sperm cells to the reproductive system of the female to fertilize an egg. The male reproductive system contains two egg shapes called the testes, as you can see in the illustration here. So the male reproductive system contains the two egg shape called the testes, which are enclosed with a scrotal sac, which is the which is the scrotum, I mean. And also, it will also have the epididymis and the seminiferous tubule. The seminiferous tubules is the site where the sperm production or the sperm making happen, and the epididymis in which where the mature sperm stored until they are released during sexual intercourse. Don't worry, we'll also go ahead and discuss it one furthermore as we go on with our discussion this morning. Okay. All right. So and also in our diagram here, as you can see, all right. So, as what I can actually mention earlier, so the male reproductive system contains of two egg shape, which is the testis, as you can see in the illustration, and also it is enclosed by a scrotal sac, which is the scrotum. Okay. So this is already main important structures that you need to know as we go on with our discussion this morning. All right, so let's go ahead and proceed with our next part of our discussion or this morning. So, and that would be the formation of sperm. Now, you have to remember that the temperature of the scrotum is about 2 to 3 degrees Celsius, and that is cooler than the temperature inside the abdomen. And also, the normal body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. That's right. That's correct. You heard that correctly. 37 degrees Celsius, and that is too high for the sperm to complete its development. The question is, what is the condition, or what are the conditions that is necessary for the sperm to complete its development, or for the male to produce a normal sperm? Only slightly cooler temperature is actually is only the necessary temperature that is only needed for the sperm to complete its development and for the male to produce a normal sperm. And you hear that one correctly. Only slightly cooler temperature is only needed or only necessary for the sperm to complete its development or for the male to produce a normal sperm. And also, you have to remember that there are two hormones that is released during that is actually regulate the functioning of the testis rudder, and these hormones are the luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone. The follicle stimulating hormone or The follicle stimulating hormone is actually the sperm production in the seminiferous tubule. Now, before we'll go on with these two hormones, let's just go ahead and define first what is sex hormone first. Now, sex hormone is a chemical substance that influence the functioning of the testes. So we have the first one, which is the luteinizing hormone. It actually stimulates the secretion of the sex hormone, which is the testosterone. Now, the main androgen of the male is testosterone. That's the male sex hormone, and it actually associated and normally associated during puberty, because male actually um, can start produce sperm during puberty, the adolescent stage of development, where reproduction is already possible. And this testosterone, or the male sex hormone, is actually brings some changes on a human body, in a human male body. And these are the following changes. As for example, the growth of beard, the growth of hair in our armpit, the growth of hair in our body, in a near external body reproductive structure, and also changes in voice. And also inside the body, there is also changes. The prostate gland and the seminal vesicle already start to develop. Okay, so that is the work of the luteinizing hormone. This is the one that is responsible in producing or in the secretion of the sex hormone, which is the testosterone. Well, you don't have to worry, because it's not the same with the female. Female actually produces a different sex hormone. So testosterone is only for the male. You have to remember that always. Okay. Now, the second hormone we have is the follicle stimulating hormone. This stimulating hormone is the one that is responsible in a sperm production in the seminiferous tubule. From its word sperm production, this is the hormone that is responsible in a sperm making in the seminiferous tubule. And as said earlier in this video, the seminiferous tubule is the site where the sperm making happen. Okay, that's perfect. All right. So, and also you have to know that there are structure of the sperm, and also you have to know that there are three distinct parts of the sperm cells. And today we'll also go ahead and discuss what are the different distinct parts of the sperm cells. Right, so let me just go ahead and show you the illustration so that you can do understand more about the structure and how the sperm looks like. Alright, so this is an illustration or an example of an illustration of a sperm cell. So you notice that there are three distinct regions or three distinct parts that you can see in our illustration here. So there are three distinct parts, and these are the head, the midpiece, and the tail. Now let's go ahead and discuss each of the regions. Now in the head, located in the head, the tip of the head, it actually contains an enzyme. That enzyme is called the acrosome. This acrosome is the one who will help the sperm to penetrate the protective layer that surround the egg cell. So during fertilization, basically means during fertilization, this enzyme, which is the acrosome, this will be the one to help the sperm to penetrate the protective layer that surround the egg cell. Also located in the head are the 23 chromosomes that needs to be delivered to the egg cell also, of course. So as you can see in the head, there is a DNA inside. So that contains our genetic material that needs to be delivered to the egg cell. Okay, so the next region we have, or the second distinct parts of the sperm cell, is the midpiece. The midpiece is actually contains a mitochondria. This mitochondria will be the one to supply the energy for the sperm to reach the egg. So of course, it needs an energy for the sperm to reach the egg. So here the midpiece is packed with mitochondria as a source of energy. It will supply the necessary energy for the sperm to reach the egg. The last one is the tail, or what we call the flagellum. The tail is a single one, and it is a very powerful flagellum. It will helps the sperm to reach the egg. So the very main purpose of the tail, it propels the sperm to reach the egg. So remember, we have the midpiece, the head, and the tail. So the head contains the enzymes and the 23 chromosomes. The midpiece contains the mitochondria, and the tail a powerful flagellum that propels the sperm to reach the egg. And also, we also have the path of sperm through the male body. Now, as you can see here, we also have here different parts of the different parts of the male reproductive system. Now, the mature sperm cell pass through from the male from the seminiferous tubules through tiny tubes called the epididymis. And the mature sperm is actually been stored in the epididymis until they are released during sexual intercourse. And also, in the epididymis, it will continue to a vas deferens into a long sperm duct called the vas deferens. And after the vas deferens, it will join the urethra. And there are actually three glands that help secrete the seminal fluid. And before that one, as we go on with the seminal vesicle, or the ductus deferens, it will go ahead and the sperm it will be there will be a seminal fluid that will be added to that, and there are three glands that secrete the seminal fluid, and that's the seminal vesicle, the prostate gland, and the bulborectal gland. So these are the three glands that is actually that is also the responsible for the seminal fluid. And also, yeah, we also have the functions of seminal fluid. It carries the sperm and lubricate the passage through which the sperm travels. It protects the sperm from the harmful effects of acids in the female reproductive canal. And also, you have to remember, there are parts of penis that is responsible. But before we go on with that, let's go back here with the paths that needs to for the sperm to follow. So again, from seminiferous tubules, it will the mature sperm cell will store it in the epididymis, and it will continue to a long sperm duct, and it will join the urethra, and it will passes through the penis and empties to the outside. So during sexual intercourse, there are parts of so the penis is the one who will be deposited the seminal fluid or the sperm that contains the fluid and the sperm, or this what's so called the semen. And also there are parts of the penis that you need to remember. We have the glans penis, the erectile tissue, and the prepuce. The glans penis is actually the one that is very expanded one, and the expanded tip. The erectile tissue were actually the one who is actually that is surrounded the skin that is surrounded the in the body of the penis. And also, you have to remember that the process of releasing semen through the urethra is called ejaculation. And an average of 300 to 400 billion of sperm cells in about 2 to 3 ml of semen is released during one ejaculation by a human male. Alright, so for today's lesson, that will be the scope of our discussion for today. So be aware of the email or the copy of the PowerPoint presentation or the video recording that I sent to you on your individual email. Okay, so everyone, that will be all for today, and thank you for listening, and have a great day.